Coming to you live, it's the Forestry and Sawmill Roundtable. Welcome back. Let's get started. There it goes. Go! Go, go, go! Go! All right, we are coming to you live tonight. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our show, Forestry and Sawmill Roundtable. Tonight, we will start out by interviewing each of our panelists on how they got started, why they decided sawmilling, why they decided on sawmilling, and why did they choose the equipment they did. Also, we will discuss insights and shortcomings they have experienced and how to maybe avoid them. Also, later tonight, we will discuss how small town zoning laws may affect your sawmill operation and possibly keep you from using a sawmill you purchased. We will bring on Scott Overhoff and let him tell his story of what happened to him in a very rural area because of zoning laws. This could lead to a very interesting show. Get your questions ready. Let's get started, and I'm going to be introducing our panelists. First, we have Paul, Southern Adirondack Outdoors. You have myself, Rick, with Two Brothers Outdoors. You have John Davison, our producer. He's with Davison's All Natural Gym. We have Eric. He's from Bearded Lumber. Usually his son Matthew joins him, but tonight he's not. And we have Tim from Two Brothers Outdoors. We're missing two panelists tonight. We have Neil and Quilted Sawyer, and they won't be joining us tonight, so we're going to be doing the show as you see. All right, so we're going to start out. Eric, you got the biggest operation, I believe, right now. So how did you decide to get into sawmilling? Why did you pick the equipment you did? Give us some insights and some mistakes and what you wouldn't do and what you would do that you haven't done.
Okay. Like most people, kind of fell uphill. I blame it on my dad. Probably 10 years before I bought a mill, he hired a guy to come mobile mill some lumber for him, and I got the bug. And in my mid-40s, all my kids were grown. Matthew was the last one. He left, went in the Army, and most rednecks had an excess of money and time and needed something to do. So I got a Wood-Mizer as a hobby. As a tax advantage, because I was making a good corporate income, and with no kids, no mortgage, what do? You pay taxes. So I bought it. and really fell in love with it. We mobile milled when Matthew got back out of the Army. I had it, and we mobile milled quite extensively for 2 or 3 times a month, as well as I had property here that I could have people drop logs off, and when I had time, I'd mill them up. And it's a hobby that turned. It's a hobby that got out of hand. Right before COVID, we had really ramped up, gotten busy. I built this building and had somewhere to keep my sawmill set up at home so I could saw, anytime I wanted to after work. I didn't have to bring my mill out and set it up. It's just like it is now, which this was permanent. And like anything else, the more you do it, do quality work, and be responsible, the more work will come your way. And during COVID, I got sick, could no longer do what I was doing, running a delivery route. I went to working third shift pulling doubles that I absolutely hated that. Work all night, then work all day, and then try to work another night without sleeping. And it got to the point they said, "You have to make a choice." I said, "It's real easy." And I hadn't looked back. I wish I'd done it 20 years ago, but you can only be self-employed when the time's right for you. That may be 20-year-old. In my case, I was like 53, 54. But I've enjoyed every day of it, spending time with my family. Mistakes, don't overspend. You got to spend money to make money. That's a known fact. But earn your money first and be real frugal with it and spend your money in a wise way. It's a lot easier for me to say at my age than it is somebody that's 20-year-old, got kids, got a wife, got a mortgage, got a car payment, But if you're doing this at a young age, just take your time. If you've got a job, let your hobby be your hobby, and try to find a balance between what you can work and what you can enjoy your hobby and make money at it, and turn around and put all that money back in, because you're going to need a building, you're going to need equipment, a truck, it's just on and on and on. And if you want to make a business out of it, you can. One of our panelists, Neil, he's been looking to be self-employed, and I've talked to him pretty much ever since I've known him. And he's done a few things that I suggested, and one being that motor planer he just bought. I told him within a year, you're either going to have to be full-time self-employed or quit doing what you're doing. If you're going to get so much on one side of the plate, you can't balance it out on the other. And that can happen to anybody in this country that's willing to work. Now, if you don't like social media, you don't like YouTube, you don't like Instagram, you don't like TikTok, you don't like Twitter, you hate to answer your phone, you won't return emails, you hate Facebook Marketplace, don't be self-employed. Every one of these guys I know does exactly that same thing. They're on social media, they're on Facebook Marketplace, they're selling stuff, they're answering their calls, they're answering emails. And we all know that 10% of the phone calls, probably a waste of time. But if you don't make them, you're going to miss the ones that you need to make.
Correct.
So what was your other question there, Rick?
Okay, so what equipment do you have, and what made you choose the equipment that you chose?
I will claim ignorance on buying a Wood-Mizer, okay? I did not do my due diligence. All I knew was Wood-Mizer because the guy that he hired had one. Mr. Dean Stacy down the road, he still saws. But I'm quite happy with the LT35 we bought. It served us well. And then we upgraded to a Wood-Mizer LT70 electric. I've also got a Wood-Mizer KD250 kiln. Guys, if you want to make sawmilling, make money in sawmilling, you got to have a kiln in certain areas. Okay. If I relied on green pine lumber to make a living, I'd go broke. You got to have a kiln. And a couple of years ago, we bought a sharpener setter from Joe Main. Hadn't regretted buying that at all. It's so much more convenient sharpening my own bands when I need to sharpen them and not on somebody else's time frame. And then we added a winding molder to our package, and that's been a tremendous asset. I used it today, done a small job for a customer. let's see what else. We got an EG100. Probably going to upgrade that this year to EG350, one of their new models they got coming out, hopefully. I bought a 37-inch belt sander. We hadn't got it installed yet. And all these are things that add value to lumber. That's what I try to tell people. If a customer brings you 3 logs and you saw those 3 logs, he comes and picks them up, pays you, and it's gone, that's all you make. That same customer brings me those 3 logs. I get paid to cut them, I get paid to dry them, and then I get paid to turn them into a finished product to go back into his house. I got paid 3 times for the log you only got paid 1 time for. That's how you add value back to your business as well as your customer. And you'll never go wrong being able to take Sawmill into the final step of finished product. And we're not talking log mill scale. I got log mills or sawmills all around me that do a couple 100,000 board feet a day. You can't talk to them, you can't call them, and you can't ask them to do anything for you. That's not the kind of business they're in. I'm the complete opposite. I'm a small operation, and I'll saw 1 walnut log, or I'll saw 500 walnut logs. It don't matter. Whatever you got, drop it off, and we'll work it in. And all these guys that cut for the public do the same thing. It's nice to saw a 10,000 board foot order, but those don't come every day. You got to work with what you got. But I've enjoyed the journey. You get sawmill in your blood, you're stuck.
Eric, I got a question for you.
Yes,
so, is all your equipment in your shop electric?
Yes.
So, what kind of amperage do you have to have coming into there to run all your equipment?
If I didn't have that motor, I could get by with a 100 amp, 480 service. But I've got a 400 amp, 480 volt service. And the way I do that is over here in the corner, there's a 220 volt transformer. Gotcha. I can put 100 amps and 480 in it, or 150 amps, and I can get up to 400 amps of single phase power. Now, we're not using near that much on single phase. The sawmill, to be honest with you, when I plugged it up, I think my power bill went down. It uses so little. The big consumer is the molder and that kiln. A dehumidification kiln will cost you a fortune to run. But
so
make money.
So if you have a power outage for any given length of time, say 4 or 5 days, are you not able to run any of your equipment, or do you have a generator to support all that?
I take if we're out of power, we're in such a mess. I need to probably be helping the community instead of helping myself, because I'm a half a mile from our main substation. If I'm out of power, the whole lower half of our community, 20 or 30 square miles is out of power.
Gotcha.
So it's yes, you can go a few days without having power, but the worst we had was Hurricane Helene, and I didn't need to be down here sawing anyway. There was a mess everywhere that needed, attention. So,
all right, I'd just like to take a minute and welcome the people that's commented: Buffalo Custom Millworks and Rad Wolf 8794. If you're tuning in to us, you got any questions, or just jump on the comment section there and say hello and tell us where you're from. Any questions you have for Eric or anybody that we're interviewing tonight, pop it up there and we'll pop it up on the screen and address your question right away. So, Eric, just out of curiosity, because I know what they charge here, what do you charge per board foot for kiln drying?
I get 50 cents a board foot for hardwoods and $1.25, or 50 cents for softwoods, pine, poplar, cedar, stuff like that. I have to get $1.25 for hardwoods because it's not double. Normally it's 3 times the length to do hardwoods.
Okay.
And that's not trying to be greedy. That's just what it costs to run that thing and have somebody with the technical expertise to watch and manage it. You're paying me for what I know how to do, not necessarily what I'm doing. Like that second.
Yeah, I understand.
Knowledge.
I'm just curious.
For knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. The worst part of a kiln is there is a learning curve. I couldn't tell you how many people I've communicated with that get a kill and they get started, and then it starts doing crazy stuff and they don't know what to do. And I'm like, just ride the wave and you'll be all right. It takes time to learn. Wood is a natural thing, it's not man-made, God-made, and it's going to react in different ways, different times of the year, different moisture levels, whether the sap's up when you cut it or sap's down when you cut it. All that bears into the drying process.
Yep.
Just don't stress it.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the show. And Eric from Florida. How you doing, Eric? So, did you make any mistakes that you can look back on and say, boy, I wish I didn't do that? Or
equipment wise, I bought a Bobcat one time and that was a bad investment. It didn't work out for me. I didn't lose money on it, spent a lot of time working on it, and then turned around and sold it. I guess my biggest regret is not trying to be bigger sooner and kind of work my way out of my corporate job, but it worked out. I stayed long enough till I got my early retirement, and it ain't a whole lot of money, but any money coming in is better than no money.
True.
I've not regretted it. I mean, it's every purchase, it's been thoroughly thought out in advance. I'm not overly frugal, but I am careful with spending money. Try to only spend it once, spend it wisely. Snap purchases will get you in trouble. And that happens a lot on Facebook Marketplace.
You're known for that.
Somebody wants to see the bed on your new truck.
Somebody asked about the truck. There's video coming out here in a week where we put new side beds and all on it. And if you watch today's video, you'll see a sneak peek of it. It was on there.
Okay.
And that'd be the other thing I'd suggest to people. If you're going to be,
I can put everybody's comments on there.
if you're going to be self-employed, I know it's hard, but it can be done. Consider being on YouTube or Rumble or take your pick. Be on some of the social media platforms and put out there what you're doing so that people can see your passion for what you're doing, whether it's heating and air, whether it's plumbing, whether it's roofing, digging foundations, sawmilling. Take your pick. And when somebody asks you about the services you provide, you can give them a link to your YouTube channel, and they can sit there and gorge as much information that they want about you personally and the job you do beforehand, and that sets you apart from other contractors doing the same thing. All these guys are probably for the same reasons. We enjoy teaching, but it's also a business asset.
Absolutely. All right, I see Chris from Standard Living has joined us. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Anyone making pellets from sawdust? I'm not. I don't think any of us make pellets from sawdust.
I've looked at it, but I can't give firewood away. What makes me think I can sell pellets? People here in our area, unlike you boys up north, they all burn firewood. Down here, 2% of the people burn firewood, if that.
Well, my dog eats sawdust and she makes pellets, so that's okay.
Little fiber from.
Yeah, a lot of fiber. Sorry, John, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Eric, so for the viewers meeting you first time, where you located, what do you do when you're not making sawdust?
I live in Western North Carolina, we're at the southern part of Western North Carolina, about 10 minutes from South Carolina. Very temperate climate, right up against the Blue Ridge Mountains. Beautiful place. Worst thing about our weather is when it gets hot, the wind quits. We don't get any summer breezes. It just gets hot and stopping. What was the other question?
What are you doing when you're not making sawdust?
Either playing with the grandkids or trying to do a little fishing, and I haven't fished yet this year. We've been so busy. We've been overloaded with this edition, trying to get people to work. And I try to remember that when people ask me to do work, is do it in a timely fashion, and give them a timeline. I tell most people, I'll get that next week. Now, if I give you a date Tuesday, then that means I'll have it done Tuesday. But if I tell you next week, that means I got till Friday to work it in. But I've dealt with 3 or 4 contractors trying to get this grading done and the concrete poured. Yeah, I'll be there Monday. Been 6 weeks and the sucker ain't showed up yet. No phone calls.
Yeah.
Dude, you told me you could do it Monday. If you can't be here Monday, just call me and say, hey, life happens. I'm fine. I understand. Your mama's more important. Your kid's more important.
Yep.
Everything's more important. But you told me you'd be here. Communicate. And that's what I normally tell my customers. If I give them a hard date, I'll have it done Tuesday unless life happens. And if it does, I will call you.
I agree. I agree. What species you enjoy milling the most?
Around here, Southern Yellow Pine is my favorite to saw because this country was built on the Southern conifer. From Alabama all the way into New York years ago, Southern Yellow Pine was dominant, building species of lumber. And we still have some here. It's been replaced years ago with forest pine and now, unfortunately, with loblolly. But I call them house builders. Guy drop off a 36-inch, round yellow pine log. Yeah, you can build a house out of that.
Yeah.
I don't know
so how far are you from Fancy Gap?
From who?
Fancy
Eric,
Gap, it's a hill.
Are you anywhere near Fancy Gap, Eric?
Hour or so away. Yeah.
Okay.
I can be in like Bristol, hour and 45 minutes. I can be in Columbia, hour and a half. Charlotte, hour and a half. Atlanta, about 3.
Yeah.
We're not close to our biggest city. I guess we're close to would be Greenville, Spartanburg. People know where that's at, or Asheville, and we're kind of right in the middle of both.
Gotcha.
Distance. I don't mind living near a big town. I just don't want to live anywhere in one.
Most memorable log, unusual, valuable, challenging, or meaningful log to you?
A burley maple log we saw a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Soft maple, hard maple?
It was a soft maple, burley. It looked like a tree covered in boobies. Seriously. 10-foot log, and they had double D boobies all the way around it, all the way down. And
Double what?
I think I heard that right.
You said that so fast. What? It just registered.
You never heard of a booby tree? Well,
Double D boobies.
Looked like a Dolly Parton tree, just moss all the way around, all the way down. We sawed it, and I listed it for sale on Facebook, and I sold it the next day to one of my local woodcrafters, and he paid a good fair price. Don't get me wrong, he paid a good fair price. But I had people across the country calling me for months after the video come out, wanting to buy it. Any of you guys ever used a Martinez hammer or a stiletto hammer?
Oh.
I had Mr. Mark Martinez from California call me wanting to buy it.
Oh.
Yeah. Most beautiful log I ever saw. It's still up on our YouTube channel, as well as multiple videos after where we dried it and then we processed it. And the guy that bought it, he actually filmed the video, sent it to me, and we put it in our YouTube channel where he built this dining room table out of it. It was just stunning. It had no grain. He said it's the worst piece of wood he's ever worked with in his life because it had no grain structure. He said every time I'd get it flat, it'd move. He said he spent weeks with wet towels on it and wait, just trying to level it out and get it to find a happy place to live because there was no grain structure. Easily could have been a $10,000 to $12,000 log, one log. I wouldn't do that to my friend, but if I ever have another one, he won't get offered to buy it. I'll put it on the open market. It would have made some of the most beautiful gun stocks you ever seen, or Gibson guitars, or Martin guitars. I mean, it's just so wild and unique of all, because it was burl to burl to burl. There was no gap. The whole outside of that log had just drawn big old round burls, one on top of the other, all the way around it. And
Wow.
How long did you cut it? How long was it?
10-footer.
10 foot?
I don't know where it come from. It laid in my maple pile so long that I don't know if one of my customers or one of the guys I buy from had dropped it off, or if we saw it here on the property. We just drug it all off the top of the hill and was going through it. And Matthew seen it. He said, "You need to make a video on this one when you saw it." And yeah, the rest is history on that one.
How thick did you
Eric.
cut it?
I was going to cut it in 1-inch boards. That's what we were cutting, was 1-inch inventory. And I took the first cut off and dropped down and I cut a board, and I looked at it and I said, nope, 2-inch slabs. I slabbed the rest of it. And glad I did.
You want to address that question up there, Eric?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So different logs cost more than others to process. Yes. There's
Short
a
logs?
huge difference in sawing cedar, spruce, pine, and poplar, which are very easy. The saw blade don't mind them. The mill don't mind them. The saw blades last a long time versus sawing an oak, white oak, red oak, chestnut oak, and maple. The sawing process is slower. The yield is normally less because I'm boxing the heart on an oak log. I'm going to throw it away at least a 4x4, if not a 6x6 out of the heart, because the heartwood's no good. So you're losing yield. You got to make that up somewhere, and then it's the time factor. It's slower, and then you can fall into the pecans, the hickories, apples, different things that are very hard, are silica based, and they literally just wear the teeth off your saw blades, your molders, and your equipment. And I even charge extra for those, and you have to.
Yeah, and
So
the
that's
kiln
why
is
a
the kiln
sawmiller
too is more too.
different prices. Or what I normally do is, hey, what do you want to get sawed? I don't confuse them with too much information. If all they got is a white oak log, I tell them what it costs to saw a white oak log. And if they ask why, then I'll tell them why.
And the kiln too is different. Pines not in there as long as the oaks, and not in there as long as the pecans and stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
In summertime, if I got pine that I've sawed and air dried for 4 to 6 weeks, it might be in 4 or 5 days.
Right.
And you just put that same batch of oak in there. I got some in right now that was air dried for 2.5 months, and it's been in 20 days, and it's still probably got 3 more before it's going to come out. And it went in at 25%. It's not like it went in wet. It was 25% when it went in. It's just such a slow process with hardwoods.
Yep.
Looks like Chris with Standard Living has one of those booby trees.
Hey, I got a guy around here.
I've never. That's great. I have to remember that.
I don't fool with burls a whole lot because it's such a niche market. But I got a guy I keep in my folder over here. If somebody brings me a burl or something, I'll call him because he'll pay top dollar. He buys burls all across the East Coast because that's his specialty is coffee tables made out of burl wood, and he gets big money.
Yep.
So
air dry
Crochet's asking Eric, do you air dry your oaks first before you kiln dry them?
I like to if I have time. Sometimes I don't have time because if I'm doing a customer's job, a couple thousand square feet of hardwood flooring, I've got a time frame that I've got to get it sawed, dried, processed, and then back to them in a timely fashion. I have put it in the next day coming off the sawmill. That's going to be a 40-day run. And it don't hurt the wood. You can start at 60% and go to 6. It's just, you're adding days to the time it's going to be in there. You hear people say, "Oh, you got to air dry it." No, that's bullcrap. You can dry it from green to 6%, perfectly fine. You're just going to spend more money and more time doing it. Most of your people that kiln dry refuse to dry it green because, one, they got storage space, and two, they got so much work that they don't want to tie their kiln up that long. And I see their point of view, but I don't have unlimited storage space, and sometimes I just want to get it done and get it out of here, get paid, move on to the next job. But yes, it's better time-wise if you're going to give it a month or two, because you'll go from that 60% moisture to 25 or 30 within the first 2 months.
Right.
It's not a necessity. It's just beneficial.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And
All right, guys, I'm going off screen for a minute. I will be back in just a few minutes.
Okay.
righty. There's Rita's hardwood. She's not far from me right there. She's real close.
Appreciate you, Ritas. He comments a lot on our videos. Standard Living had a question: what would be the best way to saw
the booby tree?
Oh, the booby tree for sure. Slabs. Always remember. Always remember. Big wood can be made smaller wood. Smaller wood cannot be made big.
Eric, this conversation's not doing good.
Don't fall for it, John.
Small wood.
If you
Oh my God, I can't do this, guys.
and you got a customer that wants 1-inch boards, you can cut that in half and make 1-inch boards. But if you cut them all 1 inch, and a guy comes in and wants 2-inch boards, you got nothing to sell it.
If it's a booby tree, you can make the wood longer. If it's a booby tree, I'm just saying.
When John came and visited us, he couldn't wait to get into our box to see all our hardwood.
I still have people watching that video today. I had a comment, 2 or 3 comments on it this week. If you haven't seen it on our YouTube channel, go look. Burley Maple video. It's in our playlist. It's a once in a lifetime tree for me, for sure. I guess the other one would be
on your videos this week, Eric, that you had a little something strange going on. What were you doing?
We splitting some wood this week using percussion, advantage. I had 3 oak logs that were excess of 48 inches, and now I got 16 quarters or 12 quarters, excuse me. There's a video on that if you want to see it. And no, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You have to figure that out.
You got all your fingers, I see. That's good.
Yeah. I flexed my muscles with the federal government and filled out for my permit to purchase a silencer. And I now own a suppressed AR. And I would highly recommend anybody that likes that type of gun to get you on a suppressor. It is nice.
Radis has got a question there for you, Eric.
Yeah, I've talked to him quite a bit when he was first getting his kiln up. There's a lot of learning, a lot of stress, trying not to screw up people's lumber. And I'm glad to help anybody. It's not a whole lot of effort on the phone.
Chair. You want to make a computer? Yeah, there's a chair by the table in the computer. So, guys, Rick's, I guess his internet's messing up, so he's going to come over here and be with me. We're going to do it, Eric and Matthew.
You think you two can long that long?
What's that?
You think you two can behave that long?
Well, he texts me, goes, "Do you got pants on?" I'm like, "Why?"
Now,
okay.
We're talking about logs, that have an impact. I saw one more customer a while back. There's a 300-year-old hickory, and it's the tightest grain.
Man, you guys making a lot of noise.
It's the dog. I
had to save a piece. The grain is so tight on this, you can't even count them. My eyes are not good to count it. Grew up on the side of the mountain, 5 miles from where I'm sitting here, and it never got logged because it was in such a place. It was never worth the money to haul it out there. And after the hurricane, it got blew over. And fortunately, the homeowners had enough money. They paid a contractor to come in and clean it up, haul it out. He hauled it to me, and we turned it into tongue and groove flooring, tongue and groove V-groove, and made enough 2-inch stuff to build 2 dining room tables out of it. Beautiful stuff. Hickory, god awful hard to work with, but I've never saw a tree that was 300 plus years old. It don't exist right here that much.
Yep.
I counted it with a magnifying glass, and I was over 20 rings. And the butt cut I had was like 42 inches. It's old. So
There we go. Got rid of some of that noise now. Tim's muted.
oh,
I don't think Rick can hear.
Yeah, and Rick can't hear, and Tim's muted. So
any other questions?
looking at Mike.
Next guest.
You guys are muted because it just sounds like somebody's going through your trash here.
That's
Sounds
the dog.
like the dog's going through your trash.
This is Mike.
or else you guys are breathing heavy because you're together. One or the other. You guys breathing
Hey,
heavy
Chris,
because you're in the same room.
he gets them Dolly Parton
The
maple.
audio,
What are you
the
talking about?
sound. Brightness.
Yeah. All right. Who's next? Paul, you up next?
I guess so.
All right. Help yourself. Knock yourself out.
All right. Well, back around 2019 or so, I've been cutting firewood for years and pulling out these nice cherries, splitting them up into firewood. And I got to the point where I figured I got to do something besides, burning the stuff. So in the fall of 19, we went out to Wood-Mizer, checked them out, and this is just before COVID. So we were able to put a LT15 in the back of the truck and haul it home the same day. A couple months later, it was a different story. But
Yeah.
obviously we picked Wood-Mizer, and that's pretty much the same reason as Eric, because that's all I really knew. I knew Hudson for a while, but didn't know much about him. Wood-Mizer had the reputation and all that. And we just enjoy mostly hardwoods. Do some pine, but just saw a couple of larches or tamaracks and just gunked the blade right up. Even I got the diesel can out and sprayed it with diesel to clean the blade off. But it's been a fun time. Really enjoy it. Keeping out of trouble. We don't do it for money, but we do sell some, more for our own personal enjoyment. And along with the LT15, we also got the Woodland Mills sharpener that really does a good job. I was surprised. But otherwise, just the Kubota tractors and chainsaws, and keeps us out of trouble.
Keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
Attempts to, at least. Let's put it that way.
If you're working, you're not out causing trouble. How about that?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear us now? Okay.
Yep, we can hear you, Tim.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I just had to adjust the sound and stuff so I could hear it. I took that set off. Sorry.
No, you're right.
But probably the most memorable log wasn't the best log or anything. Is an elm, and the reason it's memorable is because the smell of it lingered for days afterwards. Turned out to be beautiful grain too, but a couple days after sawing it, you go back to the sawmill, and smelled that elm smell. Wasn't pleasant, but the wood itself was nice. Let's see what else. Mistakes. I think a lot of mistakes hitting metal, of course, but probably should have shopped around for saws to see what was fit. Because we were rookies at the time, we didn't know any better. Knowing what I knew now, I probably would have gone with the LT15 wide, just to get the extra capacity, because we tend to run into width problems quite a bit. Enjoy making slabs with it, but just tough to fit it through a little 26-inch width cut. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. It takes a lot of time. YouTube videos, I don't think a lot of people realize it, but the filming or the video that you guys see probably takes about 4 or 5 times as long to actually do. Bill Profit knows, of course. And then the editing, of course, but it's fun to do. One of the best things about YouTube is meeting people. He's got other guys on the screen, as well as viewers and subscribers. That's what I think I enjoyed most about the whole thing.
What so is it just the editing? Was that the big thing that you learned, didn't expect on YouTube, or is there something else, you know what I mean, that you didn't expect from YouTube when you started your channel? Anything?
Editing was the big one. Yeah, I started from ground zero with no editing experience. I never realized how long it takes to make a little 10-15 minute video. It's, of course, you can do quick videos too, but it just takes forever sometimes, it seems, to get a video out.
Yep.
It was a good learning experience too.
I agree.
That's why you need Matthew.
So when you're not,
I'll ship the footage down to Matthew. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got an Andy, Paul.
That's true.
So when you're not sawmilling, not making sawdust, what are you doing?
Brush hogging, working in the woods. I do a lot of forestry stuff that I don't really show on the videos. Cleaning up the woods, and they don't seem to go as well. Timothy?
I know what he does. He buys
Uh-oh.
chainsaws.
He buys chainsaws?
Yeah.
Yes.
Occasionally. Every so often I get an itch for a new one and have to go out and find something. So it's
He rides a gator all over his kingdom.
Favorite species? Favorite wood to cut?
The cut, probably cherry. Black cherry. And to make pallets out of it to bug Rick and Tim.
Yeah. I was going to say black locust.
That's good too. I like it. I like any wood that comes out with a smooth finish. The rough cut texture I don't really care for. Obviously you can get it in pine and cedar and that sort of thing, but I like a nice smooth finish that you don't have to work too hard at to get it planed or sanded down. And let's see, I mentioned larch is probably my least favorite at the moment. Just because of the last blog I did, was so much sap on it, gummed everything up, and I spent a lot of time cleaning the saw off after that.
Did you say pine?
Larch.
That don't grow down south. I don't even know what that is.
You're lucky.
We have
I believe that
that'll
that
have
log that gummed up my saw so bad was a larch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
we'll have white spruce that have what we call a pitch pocket, and sometimes it'll be a cup or a cup and a half of just greasy, sticky pitch.
Just oozes out into the floor.
Yeah, Rick couldn't even get it off with diesel drip.
Oh yeah, that stuff is
Nope.
wicked. It cut on the wrong time of the moon. It's cut when the sap was up. It
Works
does
for
make
me.
a difference.
Favorite tool, Paul, under $100. Favorite tool under $100.
Under $100.
I know there's not many tools under $100 anymore, but
Not many anymore.
there's not.
Let's
Down
see.
the bar chain oil.
That's close to 100 nowadays. I don't think it's under 100 with the log ox I like.
The log ox?
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
That's
Yep,
probably my
yep.
favorite.
There's a
That's
question for
that
you.
standard living asking about the Cook's blades. I got a sample box of 2 10-degree Cook's blades and 2 8 degrees. The 10 degree I like. The 8 degree I'm not sold on yet. I'm getting a very rough finish, almost like a comb texture, I guess would be a good word for it. But
Is
yeah,
it
work
just
on a little bit of speed and stuff to see how it works.
Is it just have you set them yet, or were they out of set, or is it, you think it's just the speed?
It's a texture I haven't seen before. It's not like when you have one tooth out of set and leaves the line every 3/4 of an inch or
Right.
so. More of a every 16th of an inch or so.
Huh.
Check if it feels good to the hand.
Is it a speed pattern, Paul?
Going too slow.
Well, it sounds like you need speed.
I'm sorry, Tim?
Speed change. You need to speed
I
up.
said,
I think
is
so.
it like
Yeah.
a speed pattern?
Not a
I
beat
tell
pattern.
people that
No.
you go to a Turbo 7 blade, a faster cutting blade, you got to cut faster, or it will
Correct.
just
Yeah.
be chatter all the way down the end of it.
Correct. Yep. Your carbides will do that too, Paul, if you don't go fast enough.
Try it again, just speed up a little bit.
That's got a bigger engine. More power.
What else?
John, we
Anybody
got to
else got
speed
any
up a little
questions?
bit. It's coming up on 9 o'clock.
Uh,
We got 15
Uh-oh.
minutes.
Oh,
Got to speed
it's
up.
only 8 o'clock here. We still got another hour.
Oh.
All right, go ahead. Rick, Tim, go ahead. Knock yourself
I'll let
out.
Rick speak.
You let Rick.
All right.
speak.
Well, we started out in 1990. I had a house on my property that was 200 years old, and we tried to rebuild it, and it needed a foundation, and they were talking 60 grand back then to pick it up, put a foundation under it. So I decided to build a log cabin. Decided to go find a sawmill because we got quite a bit of property, and I thought I could cut logs off my own property to build a sawmill. Build a log cabin. Subsequently, ended up buying a commercial circle mill, completely hydraulic. And I started sawing logs for the log cabin, started sawing lumber for the interior walls and stuff. And then every time I get a pile of 2x6s sawn, somebody would stop and say, "You want to sell those?" And my answer was always yes. I finally had to start hiding the wood to keep from selling it so that I could get the house done. But anyway, the commercial mill turned into a business, and we got into sawing cherry and hard maple, which was bringing really big money back then, between $5 and $6 a board foot. And we were shipping out 12 to 14,000 board feet a week. And it was quite a profitable business. That slowed down a little bit. We ended up doing build lists for barns and stuff like that out of pine and hemlock. And then finally, I lost all my help. They grew up and moved out. So I ended up selling the business. And then 7 years ago, I was getting ready to retire, and I decided I wanted another sawmill, but I wanted something that I could run by myself. So I ended up buying a portable mill. I ended up buying a Hudson mill. Hudson is 40 minutes from us. I was able to go up, look at their mills, and they made a really good deal for it. So I ended up with a Hudson mill, and we started sawing as a hobby, which is still a hobby, but it's generating revenue enough to keep us doing it, basically. After I bought my mill, Tim decided he wanted to buy a mill. He bought a smaller mill and ended up deciding he wanted to get a bigger mill. So he sold the smaller mill and bought a mill the same size as the one I got. So we pretty much got 2 mills running, and we stay pretty busy keeping the hobbyists around us supplied with crafters wood and stakes.
Not T-bone.
Yeah.
And I was surprised when I sold my small sawmill. I almost got the same price for what I bought it for, so it held its retail value. I was really impressed with that.
Our best log. I was buying logs to cut and send down to be shipped overseas. and I ended up getting a pile of cherry. And one of the logs in that pile of cherry was a 20-inch base log. It was 12 feet, 6 inches long. And I called a veneer buyer up and see if he would be interested in it. Come out and looked at it. We made $2,800 off of one log. I never even touched it.
Back in the day.
I was back in the 90s, late 90s. Our favorite log to saw, mine is white pine. I love white pine. Easy to saw.
I like maple because maple has a lot of character to it. It's like a Christmas present. Every time you open it up, it's got something different in it.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike white pine.
What's that?
You do or don't?
Unlike white pine, they all look the same.
I don't like pine.
I like it, but it's never like a maple. You open up a maple, and this one is beautiful. Then you open
I'm kind of fascinated with what's inside.
Yeah.
I like white pine because today we sold 24 2x6s, and Tim and I were picking them up 4 at a time because it's so light.
Yeah.
And I can actually saw it. I can actually saw it with my saw feet almost wide open.
Yeah.
It's very fast to saw.
What about John?
John, that leaves you.
That leaves me.
Correct.
I'm easy. Located in the great communist state of Illinois.
Actually, it's just Chicago, isn't it?
Well, the communist, yeah, just South Chicago. But
Did you
they're the
grow up
only
there, John?
communists. I do not go to Chicago. I will never go to Chicago.
No, did you grow up there in Illinois?
I grew up in Indiana, which is
Okay.
a half a mile from where I live right now. So, well, my hometown's 4 miles from where I live, and Indiana's a half a mile, right on the state line. It would really be nice if I was a half a mile east. I would really be an Indiana resident. I suppose I should have. My biggest mistake was in high school. I worked for a sawmill, and I should have probably just stuck with it right out of high school, and went right into. That was where you got the love of it, but I didn't know enough then, and started going to military and do other things. So that was my biggest mistake, because I should have just stuck with sawmilling right out of high school. But then after I retired, I got back here and got in touch with an old friend in Indiana. And we started sawing on his little bitty. He had the mill. I was just the labor and the logs. And he had a little, I don't know, Norwood Lumber Mate 2000 or something, just a little manual push mill and a couple kilns. And we just started sawing logs. And then a buddy of mine bought an LT35, asked me if he could store it at my house for 6 months. And I said, yeah, sure. He called me up a couple months later. He says, hey, can I store it at your house for a couple of years? And I was like, yeah, but when you get it back, you're just going to have a used sawmill. He was like, well, that's fine with me, and that's how that got started. And I've had it this is 6 years now. He got it in he bought it in 2018, 2019. And I built
Still using his mill?
I'm still using his mill. I built a sawmill shed around it. I built a business around it. He still buys.
Tell him it don't come out no more.
Huh?
Just tell him it's yours now.
He still buys the blades for it. He still buys the belts for it. He still buys the. I buy the oil for it. He buys everything else for it. Now he gets all lumber. You know what I mean? All lumber that he wants. Or half. The deal is half of it, but he's never taken more than a tenth of the lumber that I've cut on it. And he just didn't have the logs to mill like I do. And it's just easier for him to call me up and say, "Hey, I need some kiln dried cherry for my kitchen." I'm like, "Yep,
Well,
all right." You know,
something makes sense to me now, John, because we've talked about diesel drip. We've talked about the belts going bad with the diesel drip, and you're like, I don't care what the belts cost.
Other guy's buying
Now we know.
Now we know the rest of the story.
That's a Paul Harvey moment right
you
there.
think that, you think that, but that is absolutely not true. So everybody gets on me about the diesel drip.
Not me.
But
I'm a believer.
I'm a believer too. Those belts are $14 a piece, $50 for the big one on an LT35. And Wood-Mizer says change them every 400 hours. And I changed mine at the 250 hour mark. Not because of diesel, because I broke a blade and it just ripped the main belt and then it ripped the side belt. And that has nothing to do with diesel.
Very few of them you ever wear down too thin because, like I say, you kick a blade off and that tooth will go right across the top of it and cut it right in half.
Or leave it, or just leave a big scar mark, on them, and then you got your belts or your blades just running around it,
They're $15. Put 2 on it and go on with life.
Yep. I saw a lot of. I've never paid for a log. No, I take that back. We did pay for some. We did pay for some cedar. Had to have it shipped in from Missouri. Picked it up and brought it in from Missouri. But I go out and log my own logs. Friends, neighbors, trade for them. I'll trade you. You bring me 10 logs, I'll saw up 3 of them for free for you, and I'll keep the other 7. But it's a lot of work like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have the solar kiln. Well, I don't have a solar kiln. I have access to 2 solar kilns, and he charges me a fee to dry them for me, and he takes care of all the drying. I just load them and unload them. We have the edger, the EG 100 edger, and we have the siding maker, shingle maker, the resaw. We have the resaw, but we have the what's the other one called? The belt fed one on the LT35. It makes the lap siding and it makes the shingles.
Do you sell a lot of shingles in Illinois?
I do not. I do not sell a lot of shingles. I'm
The lap side,
the
taper.
I sell more. I have an order for lap siding right now that I'm working on. But I sell more board and bat, than the lap siding.
I think that's more way north type thing, isn't it? Northeast.
The board and bat or lap siding?
The shiplap and shingle.
Yeah. But I just want to make something just to set out there and see, for people to see. I want to make the log cabin. I want to make the shiplap. I want to make the shingles. I want to make, all that just as examples for people to see sitting out there. Love to have a little log cabin made out there out front,
Well, if you
Biggest
can make
mistake, John.
if you can make siding and shingles, you can basically build a house off your sawmill.
Right. And that's what I want to do. And then you can just either sell the kit or sell the house or, do whatever. There's my.
Well, if you want to do something like that, make hunting blinds.
Yep. Make anything like that.
That might be a thing. Yeah.
Now, what would
Biggest
you make
mistake
your shakes, for roofing out of? Would you use a cedar or an oak?
I'd probably use an oak.
White oak is the best.
Well, white oak would be great.
White oak is the best, they say, for shingles and.
Yep.
I think it's a beautiful product. It's just not. People down here in the South don't use it.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful look. It's just it's a lot of maintenance, you know. You gotta take care of that. And when the hail hits it, you know what I mean, or something like that, it's rough.
I had an uncle lived in Washington State for a few years when
Not to
when I
break
was
in here and
younger.
say it's 35.
And he told the story about cleaning the roof up in Washington. You know, they get all that moss on the shakes and stuff. He said, I did it one time. He said, I climbed up the ladder, stepped on the roof, and within 3 seconds, I was on my back on the ground. I never went back up. Green, slimy, shit roof. He just went.
We are at time, huh? We made to 9 o'clock. We gotta have
It is 9
Scott.
o'clock.
it
All right,
is
so-
9 o'clock.
We're gonna bring on Scott Overhoff. I say that right, I hope. Scott has a story to tell. We're gonna let him tell the story and right now on the stage. We're gonna let Scott tell his story and take some input on that, what you guys think. And we're gonna take a neutral position on this. So any comments that you want to throw out there that's reasonable, feel free to throw it out there.
We gotta get rid of that.
How you doing?
Hey.
You want the long version or the abridged version? I'll try to give you
Well,
a medium.
Just so we know what's going on, Scott, go ahead and you make it any way you need to make it. This is your time.
Sounds good. So, similar to Paul, it was around the COVID time. I got into milling in it's kind of a backwards way. Purchased my son worked for a soil wholesaler, and I thought doing something on the side, I'll buy a trailer, dump trailer. So I got the dump trailer and was hauling soil, but I thought, well, how can I get more use out of this trailer? So I started, I thought, well, I work as a environmental specialist for Nestle Purina. That's my full-time job. I've been there 13 years, still doing it. But down in that area, there's a bunch of Amish mills, right? So I thought, well, I'll haul some rough cut lumber, advertise it on Craigslist, and see what happens. Well, during that COVID time, that went gangbuster, and was selling just a tremendous amount of lumber, just buying and reselling. Because I live about 20 minutes south of Buffalo. Okay, most of the Amish mills are 40, 50 minutes from Buffalo. So I think the advantage was I was closer and I had a phone, right? They could call me.
Makes a difference.
So I took the risk. I thought, you know what? I've always loved, going to the Amish mills. I love wood, always worked with wood. So I'm going to take a risk, took out a loan and went up to Wood-Mizer, New York, and got the LT15 hydraulic. So I was doing it in my turnaround and, just in my driveway outside, no cover, nothing. And the plan was to just put a basic shelter over top of it. I think it was 18 by 30 was my first plan. So I went to the town I live in, Boston, and, the code enforcement guy there at the time was quite lenient, and he knew what I was going to do with it. He wrote the permit, but I did not have the time to get that building up, this small one. So 2 years later, we're in 2022. I decided I would like a little bit bigger building. I would like to have one so I could fit the mill in there and have some interior storage. So I called to get that permit modified, and it was a different code enforcement guy. We were working back and forth. He wanted to help me with the project. I told him it's just a hobby. I work full time. Yeah, I make some sales, but I don't do it much. I live in a completely wooded area, farms around, dairy farming, etc. At the time, I wasn't real educated. I thought it would, fit in with agriculture. Agriculture is protected by ag and markets here. I thought possibly I would even fit under that, but I wasn't even concerned because it just wasn't a thought in my mind. Anyway, we worked back and forth. This code enforcement guy in Boston, his name was Tom Murphy. He was very helpful, but he was doing his job, trying to make sure I wasn't crossing what he called the commercial threshold. So we got to a point where and there were correspondence with the town supervisor, with the planning board, et cetera. I was completely transparent, telling him exactly what I was going to do, what my plans were, and that's what's here today. He eventually approved the permit. He said, but I don't want you to put up a sign, and I don't want you to have stacked lumber outside, like finished product. I said, yeah, that's fine. So he writes the permit, and I start clearing trees to build the building, and I did send some pictures to you guys of the building that took us quite a while to build, because I was doing it on the side with help from my family and cousin. So that was we got to the point not that long ago, maybe last year, where we really had it enclosed. I just got some of the overhead doors in, and yeah, the overhead doors were actually, no, they were last fall. I got those overhead doors in, so we were completely enclosed. So I was milling in there, starting to get a a nice system together, a nice flow. And August of 25, I get a visit or a call first. He says, my name's Bob Reed. I'm the new code enforcement guy from Boston. I need to come up and do a final inspection. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. So we didn't set up a time or anything. He comes up one time that I'm off work, and I was actually in the mill, and he comes in, looks at the building, says, oh, the building's great, looks good, but we got a problem. You're not zoned to do this operation here. It doesn't fit. And I was shocked. I'm like, what do you mean? I got a permit. This was permitted. I knew you knew what I was doing. The town knew what I was doing. And he's like, no, you're, this is commercial. You're considered he said what I was doing is considered a custom woodworking shop, which is C2 zoning. He's like, you got to apply for a variance. So he's like, I think you'll get it. You'll have no problem getting it. I truly believe that. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I want to do what's right. So I put together a very detailed package, submitted it to the town, and the hearing date came up. And unfortunately, prior to that, I started getting wind that the zoning board chair there was extremely difficult, and saying that this person was a former town supervisor, held one term, I guess, didn't get elected the next term, but really likes the power of being in a position in government, right? So she's on the zoning board of appeals. Anyway, get to the meeting, and there's 4 criteria you have to meet to get a variance for zoning. You have to have your situation has to be, you have to prove that you would, if you don't get the variance, you would have a financial loss. You have to prove that it's unique to, it's a unique situation. You have to prove that it's not going to change the character of the neighborhood, essential character of the neighborhood, and you have to prove it wasn't self-created, right? It wasn't a self-created issue. So my package, I felt, and I still believe to this day, I meet those criteria. Anyway, long story short, we had the meeting. That chairman started, really waffling. It seemed like I might get it. She started waffling, and then said, "No, we need more information. She wasn't convinced the town knew what I was going to do. Basically, insinuating I put the building up without saying what I was going to do. Thankfully, I had all the emails, and it's a voluminous emails back and forth. So I brought those to the next meeting with an attorney, which I was advised to get. And anyway, the chairman changed her tune once I submitted all that documentation. She basically opened the session with me, and just had a 5 or 10 minute monologue indicating how I don't meet any of the criteria, and I make a motion to deny this variance. And she was embellishing the impact, embellishing my future plans, making it sound terrible. Anyway, so that was denied. So my only course of action there then was to appeal to state Supreme Court, which cost more attorney money, which we did. And I thought we had a really good case. So we had that Supreme Court last Thursday. This was just, a few days ago. And to be honest, it was really just a waste of time. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty about it, but the way the zoning laws are, that judge really doesn't evaluate if you meet the criteria. To this point, I still don't even know what they're evaluating. The judge said, well, I've got to, because they're not part of the community. They say, I've got to defer to them, to the town. So literally it was a waste of money and time, in my opinion. So lost the case. And, I wanted to, up to that point, I did not get the community involved, but, when I got back, formulated basically a letter to the communities and surrounding area that, this business, it's a hobby business because I work full time. I sell stuff here and there, but people like it, right? Well accepted. And I put a post out on Facebook to the groups and they just blew up. People were very upset that I had approval and they essentially pulled it. Costing me years, costing me tens of thousands of dollars, and costing me dreams basically to have something here to do part time, in retirement. So that's the situation. I've learned a lot of things during this process. The nuances of, some questions. Who defines what a hobby is? Who defines what's commercial? You can't find definitions out there in the law that says commercial equals this. So you get one code enforcement guy, they might say you don't meet commercial if you have XYZ. The next guy might say you do. I think the danger here is though that they were allowed to change that determination and basically, erase my investment. It's just very harmful. So.
I'd like to throw out there that you live in a very rural area. Even though you mentioned Buffalo, which is a big city, you live in a very rural area in farm country, correct?
I'm sorry, sir. What's that?
You basically live in farm country. You're in a very rural area.
Yeah.
So the town that's making these decisions, what is the population of this town? Do you know offhand?
I think that's 6,000 people. Yeah, I think it's about 6,000 people.
Sorry, guys.
We're talking a town which covers, how many square miles you think this town covers?
Oh boy, I don't know the square mileage. It's pretty good size.
I looked at it. I think it's probably it looks to me like it might be 15 or 20 square miles. Does that sound right?
Oh, probably more than that. Yeah, it's a good sized town. They're
But
large.
But you only got 6,000 residents. I'm just trying to establish how rural, how out in the country you are.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I mean, yeah, my immediate areas, I'm surrounded by woods. There's woods all around. There you can go several miles and get into some town, more small town.
Are you considered in the township or in the county?
Well, the town is in the county, so I'm in both. The town. Yeah.
That must be a northern thing because down here, a city is where all the people are, and when you get outside of that, it's rural, and cities are not allowed to just take 20 square miles unless they got 20 square miles of people inhabiting that in a city setting. Our local city up here probably covers 3 or 4 square miles at the most, and it's densely populated. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you get out of that, it's rural. Yeah. And we don't tolerate our city trying to expand itself just to gain more tax revenue. We vote against it.
Well, in New York, Eric, we have counties, and then I think just about every square inch of land is covered by some town. They call it a township. Does that make sense to you, a township?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're doing. We don't tolerate that down south. One of the biggest communities in my area, about 20 minutes south of here, is not even incorporated. It's got Walmart, it's got 8 or 10 grocery stores, it's got a Target, got anything the big city has, and the area is not incorporated. It is county.
Yeah. I see a comment. There's a comment there said I had logs and a building out front, and yeah, that's true. I wasn't trying to, really hide anything. Here's the context. There are multiple firewood sellers in the area that have logs. Again, I wasn't doing something that I felt was anything different than anyone else was doing with respect to like firewood or other sales that go on the street. There's I process logs just like a firewood cutter, just a different shape, right?
Well, so maybe that's the way you fight them. Just start sawing your logs into 4-inch slabs and firewood, everything except for the primo pieces, and tell them, hey, that's just too good to make firewood out of.
Yeah.
Got to skin that cat the other way, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I think probably one of the most frustrating things is that you don't have any recourse once they've made up their mind, except going to the Supreme Court, which threw it back down to the town.
Yeah.
Public.
Yeah, that's
you
pretty.
Public support behind you.
The neighbors, everybody supported. I want to be completely respectful of the neighbors. I had a lot with my application. I had 35 letters of support, so there were no complaints that were filed or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, is it possible, Scott, that somebody may have complained to bring their attention to your business?
No, the business wasn't hidden. I mean, it's a home-based cottage, and there's another term that people can wrestle with, called it cottage business. They call it. It's people that have something in their home. It's not their primary income. I don't depend on the sawmill income. In fact, it's probably costing me, given the investment at this time, but I enjoy it. It's relaxing. It's something I like to do, and people like it. And sure, I could make a couple bucks here and there.
If a guy's sitting at home in his underwear on a computer doing computer programming, isn't that a cottage industry?
I agree. If you work from home, technically, yes. So, there's a lot of, and here's another thing that really, I sent the guys a document I found when I was preparing the application for my variance. New York State, there was a paper prepared, and I think it was 2006. It was I think the title was, and if you guys can pull it up or whatever, I think it's Forestry Guide for Municipalities. And it was produced by the DEC, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, I think the Division of Forestry or something, and one other entity. And they were trying to make the argument that forestry is very similar to agriculture in that, yes, there's equipment involved. There are trucks involved. The log trucks involved. There are skidders, and with agriculture, there's tractors, there's trucks, etc. And that agriculture is very integral to society, but yet the argument is so is forestry. You need building products. It's integral to the farming communities, etc. So what that paper was trying to do was basically lobby municipalities to give forestry operations, including logging and small sawmills, etc., give them some common sense considerations when they try to operate. And yeah, that's the document there. And that's it's a great document. It really is. I think if it could be adopted either on the state level or national level, where forestry gets some level of protection similar to agriculture, I really think that would be a very good step for the industry.
Absolutely. I think it should be our agriculture. You're growing trees. You're growing a product, right?
Yeah. Well, wherever you get the logs, it's a product. You're right. It's a plant product.
I think your problem stems from your town trying to act like a 38-mile city when it should probably be about a 5-mile city and the rest of it rural, because you don't have 38 miles of people house to house.
Yeah.
Most cities have a city center, all your courthouse and government buildings, and then around that a couple miles of really densely populated people. And then that's the end of the city. When you move out beyond that, you're no longer house to house. You're no longer condos. You're no longer apartments. It's rural families living on 1 acre, 10 acre, 100 acres. That's rural living. That's not city living by any means.
Well, the thing of it is, Eric, in New York, if I'm not wrong,
close to us, I couldn't run my business in their town, but their town is so small and so densely populated, it's understandable. But it's not right for them to come 5 miles down the road to where I am and say, well, you can't run a business here in the city. I am nowhere near your city.
So if I'm not wrong, Scott, the town of Boston, I'm sure they got highway department to keep the roads clear of snow and stuff. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. That the highway superintendent's very supportive. You know, he gave the okay. He's like, yeah, you know, you have a few log trucks here and there. That's fine. You know, he's a good guy, supportive of business.
Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to establish, because people think of a town as a city. The town of Boston is not a city. They don't have a courthouse, do they?
The town of
They do have a town. They have a town court. Yeah. It's at the town hall. All small municipalities have court.
But what I'm saying is, like, they don't have a mayor, right? They don't have a mayor. It's run by a town board.
Supervisor. Yep. They have a supervisor.
They have a town supervisor, but they don't have a mayor. It's kind of the way they do the towns here in New York. It's not what you think. I think it's more. I think it was aimed more at one time to keep like the roads cleared and fixed. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry. What was that?
How hard would it be for you to run to be a councilman?
Oh no, I'm considering that seriously. Yeah, to be because
sometimes the best revenge is serve cold. Just be in their business every day. Go sit there and prove it.
There definitely needs to be a change. Not just in Boston. I mean, it's bad in Boston. You know, the feedback on Facebook post was substantial, but you know, surrounding towns, people are going crazy about, you know, what's happening in small town governments, how it's really getting difficult to, you know, it's strangulating people who have some sort of initiative to do anything. And it's
we all know that what you need falls on the conservative side of the political agenda. And maybe you need to be that member in your community to stand up and say, we've had enough. Will you vote for me?
Yeah, well, I've heard that people are interested in that. So unfortunately, the supervisor's not up for election for another 2 years, but you know, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Do you not have a group of commissioners or just one person?
No, there are some. There's the supervisor and I think 4 councilmen, council people. I think it's 4.
Yeah.
So.
And we elect county councilmen, and then they hire a manager that can basically manage the group, but he's accountable to the councilmen, which are accountable to the voters. We'll vote their, out. And trust me, we got our problems down here. We want lower taxes, but we've got $50 million in excess in the bank account.
Yeah.
We can't afford to lower taxes.
Right. And you know, there's 2 things that get me big time. It's the reversal of an approval.
Yes.
That's, to me, that's unconscionable. That happens in another any other sphere. You know, there's going to be retribution on that or consequences, but it doesn't seem in this instance But the other thing is unequal application. You know, like I said, there are probably 10 or 20 firewood sales stands in the town, right?
How many produce stands?
I'm
How
sorry?
many produce stands you got?
Oh, a lot. There's a lot of produce stands. Well, they're
Are
covered.
they not an eyesore to the community? Right down the road, there's a stupid farmer with a big ugly produce stand on the side of the road selling his wares.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they're covered. That's the thing. Everything agricultural is covered under ag and markets. They're protected from a lot of other things that a business that's not considered agricultural is they're not protected, non-agriculture.
Yeah.
But firewood, again, that's the one that irks me because it's out there and it's very prolific.
I
And
tell you, I'm
chainsaws
serious.
running all day, a lot louder than one mill going all day.
Yeah, maybe you need to open a firewood business and you tell them you sell boards that don't make good firewood.
Yeah.
It's kind of a waste product of my firewood. This wasn't going to make a good stick of firewood, so I made a board out of it.
Yeah.
Do any of these firewood stands, do they have a firewood processor or logs on their property like you do?
Yep, there's one right around the corner. He's got an automated firewood processor. Yep.
What is that?
That's Tilly.
That was Tilly. I muted him again.
I missed what I think Eric said.
What's the difference between a firewood processor and you?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just the finished product. He's making a piece of wood that they're going to put in their fireplace and they're going to turn into CO2 and heat. And you're producing a product that's going to be a finished piece in their house for hundreds of years.
There you go. I could claim a sustainability benefit. You're right. I should have played that card.
Yeah, you're capturing the carbon in what boards are made.
Yeah. No, I'm not harvesting my own trees. I order them in. They're brought in.
But still, it's I don't know. I don't even know what amendment it is, but the Equal Protection Amendment. You know what I mean? They can't treat your neighbor's firewood business one way and you the other way.
I agree.
14th Amendment? I don't know.
There's a charity group out there that fights cases like that all the way to the Supreme Court. I'll think of their name here in a minute.
I've already highlighted these ones that were down here.
Or equal protection under the law.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's again, I'm learning my way through this. I'm just experiencing it. I've learned some things that are still question marks, lookouts. I really would hope your viewership though will think of these things, and when they buy a mill, you think it's an innocent pastime to make a couple bucks, but you can get nabbed, and
don't give up. These little fiefdoms are run by morons and peons, and they got no backbone. And the last thing they want is somebody to stand up to them every day, every week, every council meeting, and get in their face.
Yeah,
they're not accustomed to somebody showing up and asserting their rights and their benefits.
Yeah.
Now,
We'll see. I mean,
On it.
There hasn't been a business day since the blow up on social media, so we'll see if I get any calls or anything Monday. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but there was a lot of chatter. So
now, if you were to try to prove that they didn't treat you equally to the firewood processors, you'd be throwing your neighbors under the bus, right?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want everybody to be able to, again, we need to use common sense. If I was in a cul-de-sac, I wouldn't expect to have the permission to run a sawmill, in a cul-de-sac.
You're not in an HOA, are you?
Well, it sounds like it, but I'm not. No.
Don't you own that property? Shouldn't you have some say-so? Don't you have some God-given right to do what you would like to with your own property?
Yeah, I would think so. But zoning is another animal, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain to the American people. If you don't own that property, who does? Your government thinks they do, and it's time we teach them they don't.
I agree.
So
He's in
Where?
Boston.
Oh, I'm in Boston, New York. It's about 20 minutes south of Buffalo.
I know people from Buffalo, Hoss. There's not a lot of people wanting to move to Buffalo, okay? There's not a lot of people that want to live in 10, 20-foot snowstorms.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of snow.
They moved down here next to me, and they tell me horror stories, and I'm like, why didn't you get the heck out of there 30 years ago?
Yeah.
For Chris.
Yeah. But, yeah. Keep fighting.
What's he say?
There's
I
any more
can't
questions in there? It's-
put a cell building after all.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the floor is open to our audience. If you want to throw a question up there, put it in the comments right there, and we'll throw it up on screen, and Scott will try to answer it for you.
Yeah. Maybe you can have a yard sale, Scott, and sell lumber.
I actually do have a little. It's just like a real cheap bin out there, and people love it. People love it. You know, quarter, 25 cent, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Sorry,
We don't get
Scott.
hurricanes or tornadoes here. We're
I had to laugh at Brad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's ways of fighting them. You've only begun.
I don't know how much I really want to fight, but
Where'd Scott go? Oh, there he is. Okay.
How come I can't hear anybody?
Like, hey, maybe you put up a fruit stand. You buy a tomato, you get a 1-6.
well, that was that was one of my possible strategies is to, turn it into a horticulture centered business, and a big part of what I do is really popular are these raised bed gardens and planter boxes. So I cut mostly larch, and I know you said larch is nasty, and it is. It can be nasty, but that's what people want from me at least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you cut what sells in your area.
That's right. Yeah, and those boxes there are large that you see in front of my building. So.
You might have to get a little more creative.
Yeah, no, there are other options. We'll see where it goes.
Mistakes.
But it is a big lookout. I mean, it's cost me a lot, So
how many acres are you sitting on?
I only have 3 acres. It's
3 acres.
Yeah, but it's all wooded.
Now, what if somebody wanted to log their property in your area? Do they have to jump through hoops for that, or do the loggers just come in and do it?
I think generally, I have not heard of any issues with logging being done. It may have happened. Answering that question by standard living, I do have that. I have a little a lumber. I call it the bargain crib, and there's boards out there, and people pay me. It's a good. People love it, like I said. So I do have that. But
yeah, that's where we got. We just made our self-serve.
Yeah, it is self-serve honor system. But again, you don't have any definitions. I don't have definitions to say, does that in and of itself make it a commercial venture? I mean, I haven't been given any definitions. And I do sell the waste firewood too, yes.
Oh, I think the firewood thing is a noose around their neck. They don't know. All you need to do is buy you a processor, start making firewood. And what are they going to do? They're going to close down every firewood operator in Boston County or township?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm happy using the sawmill to make firewood, make it in larger pieces, and then I just saw it on a. I've got a little jig I use, or it's a good size jig.
Tell me you got a sawmill for making firewood. End of story. Shut up, go away.
Here's what you do, Scott. You run for town super. And then when you get elected, you just have them all zoned out of there for stupidity.
So I think there really does need to there needs to be changes comprehensively in states like ours and others that, I can see where zoning in the past was meant to protect communities from like major industry or something or business sprawl that are too big and would have the money to encroach on people.
Right.
But I really believe that set of laws is now being used to harass people, being used to, squash people with motivation to do something,
Especially if it's only one individual that has a vendetta, right?
Yeah, you got to define
Sorry,
when a home business turns into an industry. I know people sitting at home in their underwear on a computer making $250,000 a year.
Come on,
That's
Eric.
that's a big home business, okay?
That is.
They're
Come
sitting
on,
on the
Eric.
computer programming.
How'd you know I was doing that?
But, you've got to define when a home business transitions into an industry.
I agree, but you can't find that out there. You can't find that definition. It's
No,
all
they don't
subjective.
give you that definition because then you can use it to beat their eyes out with.
That's right.
I remember back when I was building our sawmill shed, I got a building permit for it. And inspector said, "Oh, sawmill," and he looked up in his code book. I think it was the definition of sawmill. And for whatever reason, I didn't qualify for authentic sawmill. I think I got out of it, but he didn't seem to care either way.
Well, that's another point. That's another point that I tried to tell the town. I'm like, this thing is portable. I've got a portable. I could have that off my property in 15 minutes. But it's not. And that's what I ask. Is it the fact that I'm selling anything? Is there a certain? It's just. It's not well defined.
It's probably because New York or the county or town is not getting their fair share of your income from it.
Did they tell you you couldn't own one for personal use?
I would say that's probably right because, Paul, we didn't have to get permits for either one of our sawmills. They said it wasn't an inhabitable building
Right. Yeah.
with a floor. So
Yeah, but we didn't pour a floor. If we poured a floor, we would have had
Probably,
building
yeah.
permits.
I poured a floor.
I didn't even have to pull a permit for mine because it's considered an ag building.
Yeah.
tear your floor out, Scott.
No, that'd be horrible.
I know.
So you have what's the name of your little stand out front?
Well, it's a bargain crib. I operate as what I call West Hill Rough Cut.
All right, so why don't you call it firewood bargain bin and just leave the boards right out there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Firewood's not defined in any size, shape, or form.
yeah,
I know people that burn
Like
6
a
foot long
cord.
firewood.
yeah. I like all these ideas. I just don't know if one thing is gonna right now make that kind of a difference. We'll see. I'm really curious where it's gonna go with the public pressure because people were very, very upset about what's going on. So
Did you have to get a business license in your area?
I do. I wanted to do it upright. I wanted to do it. I collect sales tax, even, believe it or not. That's what I do. So
Yep, they did. You can always modify your business license to Scott's Firewood.
yeah, no, I could change it to firewood or horticulture or something, but
Scott's Firewood.
I don't know that that's going to change the mind because they like I'm beginning to realize these laws are like statistics. You can bend them to make it look any way you want. And if the town people want to make me look like a commercial business, they'll just say, well, I think you're a commercial business because there's no definition. So
I think at this point I would get the community behind me and hit this thing head on.
Yep.
I'd get as many people as I could to show up in the town hall meeting.
Yep. That's how county commissioners
board
and
meeting,
supervisors
push
lose
this.
their job.
And I push this issue every single month just until they give in.
Yeah, good question, Chris. I appreciate that input, and I'm doing that. I am. My district is residential agricultural, so I am an RA district.
There you go. Yeah. Well,
You need us to loan you some chickens?
I did have chickens. I had 30 chickens several years back. I like chickens.
I'd rather you have a sawmill than a bunch of chickens.
Yeah, I like them both. I like them both.
There you go.
Yeah, Eric, you can't fry a sawmill.
You could fry Eric's.
Oh yeah, I guess you could.
But it would be good. It would be good for, in my opinion, it would be good for Wood-Mizer or Norwood or who's the other big manufacturer I was looking at.
Little mills.
Yeah, it would be good for King. What's it called?
Timber King.
Timber King. Yeah.
King. Yep.
Yeah, it would be good for those, in my opinion, those manufacturers to tell uninformed people buying their mills, you better check into where you're going to use this and if you're going to get nipped,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a link. Southern Poverty Law Firm will take cases like this for equal protection of the law pro bono. They love these kind of cases to prove a point to local, state, and federal governments that we have a constitution for a reason. We have rights. Southern Poverty Law Firm.
Okay.
They push cases to the Supreme Court year after year after year. Now, it takes time, but they continuously push these cases up the food chain to get them resolved.
Yeah. Could the county commission overrule the town? You're asking. I don't know. I hope so. I can write fairly well, so I'm gonna write to higher government officials. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, or get a bulldozer, a welder, and a few side plates on the side of it. I mean, that is an op.
I like my piece. Again, this is a hobby. Listen, if it goes down in flames, I'll have more time. I don't like that, but
You always have the next best
I don't either.
option.
That was funny.
You always have the next best option.
We missed that.
Flee to a better state.
Well, my wife and I talked about that. Is it time to move to wherever, Tennessee, Texas? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
A
A lot of people are thinking that.
Live that way. Just leave them to it.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I
so-
like the building. The thing is, I put my heart into building that stupid building. I almost wish it was just a canned thing. I custom built it,
Well, Scott, it's the same thing that's going on with the solar panels here in our state. You've seen the fights with all that, haven't you?
Yeah, they're having those around here also.
All right, so just to catch up people that are just coming in, Scott has a sawmill business and he basically had his permit pulled by the town board, right? Or the town planning board.
Zoning board, well, the code enforcement officer and zoning board of appeals.
And they changed his status to industrial instead of a hobby, and he lost his permit to operate his sawmill. Just catching people up real quick on what happened.
Yeah, Missouri. During my research, I did see that Missouri does, they consider sawmilling agricultural. It's clearly stated.
Now what you could sell 2x6, 16 foot long. They're just long sticks of firewood for the homeowner to process to the length they want when they get them home.
Yeah, I agree.
Put a little bit of sulfur on the end of them, you have a big match.
There you go.
What is firewood made out of, people? It's a freaking log.
Yep.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a
I
tree.
agree.
Now we're stupid in this state, according to state law. If I take a log, I can chop it up firewood and I can sell it. If I run it across that burned Wood-Mizer and make a flitch out of it, it's not legal for me to chop it up firewood and sell it because it's a byproduct.
No way.
That's the insanity we have allowed in our country from the elected idiots in government.
Wow, that's something. I would have never even have thought that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Chris,
the
we're having
insanity
that
of kids.
thing
But
too.
keep electing the wrong people.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they start out well-meaning, but I don't know if being in office gets you some kind of different mindset. I think
Let me
that
tell you what gets you a different mindset. This. They
Yep,
set up
you're exactly right.
and somebody pays them to make the decisions for it.
oh boy.
Eric, are you printing that?
Yeah.
What now?
So, Scott, if you want to bring attention to your Facebook page,
Yeah.
you can put that out there if you want.
Okay. Allison, no, the permit. I just want to I'll clear it up because she asked the question.
Okay.
The way the
Right.
process works is when you go for the building permit, they are in that process checking if you're going to meet zoning because you're telling them the use you're going to use it for, and that's what happened. I told them the use. I had drawings. I had plans. My stamped drawings were labeled Overhoff Sawmill, and he examined them, and we talked about it. We talked about, all the things related to the sawmill. And the town supervisor wrote me an email specifically saying, the code enforcement officer is examining your application and associated materials to make sure they're in compliance with zoning, building code, etc. So he said that's what the job of the code enforcement guy is to do. And when I got the permit, the assumption is made, okay, my use is approved. He knew we talked about the use, he approved it, so my use is approved, as I stated to them. So,
YouTube sucks. I like glitches better than flitches anyway. So that's okay, pal.
It might be time for you to start a YouTube channel, Scott.
Yeah.
There's a lot of YouTubers out there if you want to that do
Can't
First
do it.
Amendment audits,
Cool.
and they get millions and millions of views going around this country, pressuring police departments and federal state agencies to prove to them that we do have constitutional rights.
On ours?
I don't know.
yeah, I'll have to look into that. If you have any examples, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, Allison, why do I need a variance? That's the real question. I shouldn't have had to get one because that's the whole point. I should not have had to go for a variance because my use was approved as stated to the first code enforcement officer. That's the rub of it.
But you said the state basically told the town that it was okay to make a mistake and just retroactively change your variant to no.
Yeah, I'm still processing mentally what happened at that state court. It was a literal waste of time. I don't get it. It makes me wonder, why is there even an appeal process for that code? It's like they basically said
the people they put on that state court, you can answer your own questions.
Yeah, I'm going to write to the judge. I really am. I've already thought through that.
You put stupid people in power, you get stupid results.
Yeah.
That's why I'm 100% for term limits for our president, our Congress, and our Senate. Serve your term, get your butt out there and go home, and let somebody else come in for a term and try to do something.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of lifetime politicians playing sideways in public trial.
Yeah. Brett, I didn't need a permit. There isn't like a permit to run a mill. The permit was like what I was going to use the building for. And I am running a mill in the building. I wanted them to know that. Technically, this is where it gets technically. If I had no aspirations whatsoever to sell a single board, this wouldn't be an issue. But the problem is apparently selling anything, right?
What would the difference be if you pulled your mill out in the yard and left it there?
Well, I don't think they would care. I think it would be, am I selling anything?
I think that's it too.
Yeah.
Take down
I told
that.
Quit selling lumber and just start selling 16-foot long firewood pieces.
Yeah.
I would be pushing for a clear definition of between industrial and
They're not going to give you
Hobby.
one. They don't have
cottage.
Well,
Yeah,
You know, this is the laugh of the thing. I gotta say this. The code enforcement officer who cited me and started this whole thing, he lives in a different town and he builds and sells large planters. And someone found a picture of that and posted it, and it's like, you know, it's just ironic.
No, it's equal protection of the law, brother.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna hit the state. I'm gonna write letters and get a hold
and
of
that is
all
the
of
14th. That is the 14th Amendment. Equal
Exactly.
protection clause.
Yes, sir. We have a constitution in this country for a reason. You have a state constitution, whether you like it or not, in the state of New York. It's there for a reason. It's to protect you, not protect them SOBs sitting on their lazy ass making laws against you.
Tell us how you really feel, Eric.
You don't want me to tell you how I really feel. I won't run for county commissioner because there'd be so much butt whooping around
It'd
here.
be bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah,
I've been asked to run for commissioner, and I told them that y'all can't handle the number of ass whoopings that's happened.
rules for me, for thee, and not for me. That's that the people have posted that exact phrase when they showed the code enforcement guys planners. Yeah. And definitely definitions are lacking in these laws: commercial versus home business, cottage business. What's considered a hobby? I had someone telling me because I had logs on my property, it wasn't a hobby. I mean, it is a hobby. My definition, if I was to be asked to make a definition, hobby is if you don't depend on that income. In my opinion, it's
Correct. You are correct.
Southern Poverty Law Firm, get them involved with you.
I'll try.
I mean, you got a good case for it because they're treating you unequally under the law.
There's got to be a clear definition between industrial and hobby.
Commercial and commercial and hobby. Yep.
Yeah, commercial.
And you're not in a city. I fully understand if you're in a city proper. Our city has zero setbacks. They got city water, city sewer. You can build house to house. You can build building to building. That's city. When you step out here in the county, we have a 1 acre rule. You can't build a house unless you have 1 acre property because you got to have room for the house, the well, and the septic tank. And your neighbor has to have room on his property to do exactly the same thing. That's living in the country, living rural.
I agree.
You know, we don't. Nobody disagrees that you don't need to run a sawmill business in a city proper. You're not in a city. You're in a rural area that they want to call a township and try to make you act like you're living in metropolitan downtown, and you're not. Not on 3 acres of land.
Yeah. Yeah, I put my building was made with posts in the ground. That is correct.
Yeah. It's just be the sore that won't heal and the pain that won't quit.
Yeah, well, at this point I am. At this point I'm seeing what God will bring me to help here in the next few days. I'm trusting something's gonna show up, but I'll do my part.
You have the law on your side once you get the elected criminals out of your way.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yep.
Told you boys we had to talk about something else tonight, so you get me riled up.
Yeah. Well, I did. Well, I harvested trees when I was clearing the place for the building. So, but yeah.
Scott, you want to have some fun? Go rent a chipper. Go rent a wood chipper. Go right in front of the city council building and just start chipping trees out front.
That's something my son would say to do.
Yeah, I like that.
Well,
It'd be fun though, wouldn't it?
Well,
I don't know.
I think I'd rather
I'm
go
sure you want to be a
with
good neighbor. You don't saw before 8 o'clock in the morning, and you don't saw after dark, right?
That's about right. I mean, I get up a little before 8, but I shut the doors then. Do it indoors.
That's being neighborly. I run a sawmill business, and when it gets dark, it's time to quit. We
Yeah.
don't normally quit way before then, but you know, whatever.
Eric's-
I got my blood pressure up. It's gonna make me mad.
I would right there with Chris the Wood guy is saying. I think I would be on top of
I
that.
go ask for a copy of the regulations. Yeah,
I would ask for a copy. There's got to
I
be.
want them written.
I want something in stone.
Yeah. The bad part
I'm
is
sure an attorney would say that too.
they have room for interpretation, their interpretation, because there isn't. I did read the regulations, and it's not always crystal clear. So
Yeah.
you get like the first code enforcement officer, he was doing a good job by helping the resident within the confines of the code. Now this guy, he is being he is taking a strict, yeah.
Your problem is that idiot on the zoning board. That's what the zoning board there is for. If there's something a little bit in the gray area, they're there to lean towards the homeowner, if at all possible. Not lean towards the guy that's going to build 50 freaking condos because he lines his pockets and give him a variance and tell you to go screw off.
Well, you understand the way it works. Then that's what's happening. So
Well, the way you stop that is you bring their butt to light with the full moon shining and let everybody see it.
I'm doing my best so far. So
Call a spade a spade. That's the way life works. You see it,
Yeah,
injustice,
working.
call it out.
Yeah, exactly. How can you enforce a code that you cannot define? And that interpretation crap, when I used to work for the airlines, Scott, they would always interpret, the government always interpreted it to how they wanted it to be.
that's what's happening in this. That's what's
It could
happening
be
right
said
now.
in black and white, and they'd interpret it differently.
That's unfortunately that's where lawyers make their money.
Yep, in the lack of
All this
definition.
has to be very clearly written right there.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, Chris. You know, I mean, you would think.
Well, no different than here in North Carolina. It's illegal for a homeowner to buy my lumber and build a house out of it, even if it's been killed right, because it hadn't had a stupid stamp put on it that costs $5,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now, our Congress and legislators in North Carolina didn't pass that bullshit law on their own. They passed it because the big timber companies paid them to pass it to put people like you and me out of business.
Yep.
Every 200-year-old home in this country was built off a stinking sawmill without government involvement.
Yep, I know.
Right.
They're
There you go,
actually
Scott.
what.
Contact the media and make them famous.
Yeah, there's some things in the works with that right now. I don't want to get too involved in it, but there may be some stuff breaking here over the next week.
Anytime you shine the light on their incompetence, they shrink and hide.
Yeah. I don't know what Eric on the board means. You mean in Boston? You were in Boston?
No,
No, I
Eric
mean-
is down in Virginia.
Guys in Virginia?
He's
All right,
just
no,
saying
you hear Eric up here? Our Eric?
Oh, I
He
got
was
you.
that Eric on the board.
All right, I understand. Okay, I got you.
I'm
So,
old
not
school.
to get off the subject, but Scott, are you going to Woodsman's Days this year?
I've never even heard of Woodsman's, I have to admit.
Really?
he
It's
Yes,
in
sir.
Boonville. It's a big wood event.
Oh, Boonville, New York. Yeah, I've been up to Boonville when I used to be a sample tech. Run up there and sample some contaminated sites. Yep, I was up there.
Yeah,
You and Brad can make a trip out to Boonville during Woodsman's Days. It's in August. It's a big show with logging equipment, sawmills, whole nine
Sounds
yards.
neat. Sounds neat.
you should come out. We'll be in the Hudson tent. You can come visit us.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate you bringing me on and hearing the story. And I hope somebody, you know, at least is as educated on what could happen.
Social media is your friend. As long as you're
Absolutely.
in the right. Social media every day, all day. Invite people to your council meetings. Invite them to sign up to speak. Invite them to stand there and hold your elected officials accountable.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Brad
think
made Allison's mailbox.
well, Brad introduced me and made the connections here. I do appreciate him too, you know,
That's
thinking
awesome.
of it when he saw this issue going on.
Well, it's a great topic, and I'm glad you came on and discussed this with everybody. And maybe hopefully somebody gave you some ideas to help you out.
Yep.
Do you want to put your Facebook page out there, Scott, to get people to join it, or?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to do that. It's just
West
Hill. It's West Hill Rough Cut is what my Facebook page is.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can find it and post it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, John.
It's not that. It's not
It
that.
works good too when you give council member phone numbers out in social media. People can contact them directly and voice their displeasure at the way they vote and the way they do.
Yeah,
That's it.
that would
That's an
work.
easy.
You gotta remember, a public official is not a private individual. They are not guaranteed privacy rights.
Correct.
They're public.
Correct.
Okay. Appreciate that.
If you got an office number as a public official and somebody calls and you don't like it, sucks
Too
to
bad.
be you.
I'd be calling them every day, every night, whatever. I'd be bugging the crap out of them.
Yep.
Every
And
day.
you,
I think I'd just be showing up at
tens
the
of
meeting.
thousands
once
of
a
little
month.
friends doing the same thing makes stuff move.
Okay. I'll keep that. That'll be phase 2, maybe.
Or get a bunch of sawyers to go up there with you. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like I say, just be the sore that won't heal, brother.
There you
Okay.
go.
I appreciate that.
Is that a clickable
Okay, so
link?
John
Yep,
posted it in
Click.
comments, guys.
that's a clickable link.
Is it? Okay.
Did I get it on everybody's? Oh no, I didn't get it on everybody's. Let me put it on everybody's.
If you look down in the comments, his Facebook page is in comments. You can click on that, join his Facebook page, join
There
the
you go.
fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Any backing you guys can give Scott, do it.
Wait it.
All right. Appreciate it, folks.
We're let me get this up. Here we go.
Well, this blatant kind of government spit in your face type
That's
stuff.
got to stop.
It
It's
just
got to
gotta stop.
stop.
Here you go, Scott. Follow.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate it.
It happens that easy, brother.
Bearded lumber.
We're in this fight to save our country together. And people, you got to wake up and realize that
What is it?
the way we have done the last 50, 70 years will not work. It will not continue. I don't give a crap what people do,
Sure.
what they do in their personal lives. Government's got to learn to stay out of your personal.
Facebook page.
All right, folks. Thank you.
All right, Scott, we appreciate you coming on, and thank you very much for sharing your problem. Anything we can do to help, just let us know.
All right. Take
Good
care.
luck,
guys.
Scott.
Yeah, you got my email, text, number, whatever.
Yeah, if you want to
Give
come
me a
back
holler.
on and state some more
Give us an
stuff,
update. When
We're
things
here
go
for you.
your way,
Yeah. Hopefully.
we'll be here.
Yeah. Maybe in a few weeks or a month, I'll give an update. Hopefully a favorable
yeah, that'd
one.
be awesome. Come on for a few minutes and give us an update. That'd be great.
Let us know
Yeah.
what happens.
All right.
We
Thanks.
enjoy
Stay in
getting
touch.
stories of people
Thanks.
winning.
Take care. We'll see you.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, that's,
That was very interesting, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I
The
love the
sad
passion Eric has. I love it. I love it.
the sad part
It
is
is.
that's happening across our country in those more unfortunate areas where they have poor leadership. And what the people are, if they don't have any financial means, they have no recourse.
Correct.
That's why I told him about Southern Poverty Law Firm. That's what they're there for. They take on these cases where a person can't afford to fight it for 6-8 years through state, all the way up federal, district levels, always Supreme Court. but they love to do it. And when they win, they back charge whoever they were fighting against their fees.
Well, here in our state, this crazy governor we have, she just pops out laws, and for anybody just to do a rebuttal or anything, you have to go to court, and it's tied up in court for 10 years. So she can pop out any law she wants, and it's going to go for 10 years because you're not going to be able to fight it for 10 years. They tie it up in the courts.
Your only hope is that somebody gets a speedy uplift to the Supreme Court and they deem it unconstitutional. And we've had a lot of that happen lately. And a lot of that's happened because of the law, these Southern Poverty law firms that took some of these cases and asked for immediate relief from the Supreme Court and have gotten it. We've created a problem, and our ancestors have created a problem for our generation, and it's time we fixed it.
Let me get you there, Paul. Sorry.
I agree 100%.
I mean, people, like you and me, we love America, but we're tired of the BS that they're pushing down our throats.
Eric, I think there's more than what you realize.
We live in a free country, people. It's time to act like it. We're not in Russia. We're not in Nazi Germany. We're in America. Good, law-abiding American citizens are not the problem. Either party you're in, I don't care. As long as you believe in our Constitution and our rights to self-govern ourselves and be left alone, then we can get along.
Well, I think the problem is the government has grown to a point to where it protects itself against us.
Well, I mean, how much nobody, a lot of people dislike Elon Musk, but we hired a businessman to audit our federal government, and look at the garbage that man found that was going on.
But what was done? But what was done with it, Eric? Nothing.
Oh, a lot of it went away. AID,
DEI.
And it takes time. I mean, nothing's going to happen overnight, but
I agree.
It was a political party piggy bank is all that was.
Yep.
Quid pro quo. And, we're all grown men. We're all 50-year-old or older. We know you can't take a job for $165,000 a year and in 10 years be worth $50 million. It don't work that way.
Makes you wonder, huh?
No, it don't make me wonder. I know they're down.
Thieves.
That's why we need term limits. In the state of North Carolina, to become a state senator, it costs $500 million. That is bullshit. $500 million to be elected state senator in North Carolina. It may be higher in New York, it may be less, depending on the vote count. But in North Carolina, it'll cost $500 million to get elected to be state senator.
Well, we got a congressman race going on right now in our district, and the two Republicans that are running, I would be afraid to even venture how much money has been spent on that campaign.
Yeah,
a lot than what we have here.
They're not spending borrowed money. They're spending money that has attachments on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I, Bearded Lumber, give a politician $100,000, I'm going to own him. And that's the point of giving the $100,000. You're going to own that politician.
exactly.
When they give
Paid for it.
They own them. We got to
Bought and paid for it. It's called lobbying.
Well, if you want to give away $100,000 and own somebody, Eric, you're more than welcome to buy Tim.
I knew he's going to say. I knew he's going to say that. I knew.
Yeah. You can like or dislike the current president we have. I don't care. But lobbying money did not put him in office. And he's not beholden to any industry, any business, or any individual.
He is a businessman, and that's the way this country needs to be run, like a business.
I've said that for years. We need a businessman. I'm one of the original voters for Ross Perot. I knew then we needed a businessman instead of a politician. You know, and luckily I lived long enough to get to vote 3 times again for a true businessman to run our country with some sense to say, stop the BS.
Yeah, I agree.
Like him or don't, I don't care. It's good for America. At least in my lifetime, I can say there's been 2 presidents that I knew for a fact that loved America and did what they did mostly, America first.
I agree.
I thought you were going to say loved something else, under the desk or something. I knew you were going there. And I was like, I only know of one that was loving anything in the desk or in the Oval Office.
Well, we want him in there.
Oh, okay. I thought that was where you were going.
I rank him as one of the best politicians ever. A very worthless human being, but a great politician. But we don't need more of that. We need people that's why I say we need term limits. We need people that want to serve our country for 2 years, 4 years, or 6 years as senator. Serve our country and then take your sorry butt back home and get a job.
Yeah,
and not live in the public trough the rest of your life being worthless.
Right. Exactly. That's how it was originally designed, was, for the farmer, the businessman to come to New York, to come to Washington, D.C. for a couple of years to tell his side of the story, represent his people, and then go home.
Yep.
And that's how it was designed.
He really didn't give two wits about what party he was serving. He was there to serve the people.
Right.
And we've lost that.
Correct.
I don't care what party elected you. Is what you're voting on good for America? If it is, vote affirmative. If it's not, vote no. Don't wait on some party to tell you how to vote. You got a brain, use it. If you're too stupid to figure out to vote yes or no, recuse yourself and go home. You're an idiot.
Well, that's the problem. Most of them are, idiots.
Yeah, most of them are paid idiots.
Yep.
You got one in New York. How did that thing get elected to Congress? Twice.
You're not hearing any disagreement out of us.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Well, gentlemen,
I told you before you started you're gonna make me mad before we got done.
I love you're all riled up, Eric. I love it.
I'm a Gen Xer and I don't give two what you think anymore.
All right, guys, are we ready to wrap this up, or have we touched on everything we plan on touching on tonight?
Wait a minute.
we gotta give Eric some time to simmer down.
Did you see that? I'm touching it.
Enjoyed it,
I
guys.
think so. We got next month. Don't forget next month.
Yeah.
Chuck,
Sheridan Park Farms.
Yeah, Chuck is a good friend of mine, and he will be a good guest. He is plugged in to the North Carolina, specifically rural farming and all the rules and regulations. And he is a 30-year something plus employee for the state in emergency management. He is well knowledge, well versed, and he can answer a lot of good questions. And he runs a Wood-Mizer. Making money with it too, but yeah, he's a good person.
Building a timber frame. They're building a timber frame building.
Yep. Yeah, they're working on that.
And running that farm, and an amazing YouTube channel.
Country folks, redneck. This guy is way smarter than any redneck. He's very intelligent. He just farming because him and his wife love it.
Him and his wife. Yep, running a real good YouTube channel.
Yep.
Okay.
They got quite a few followers.
He just passed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Was it 100? Yep.
Nice.
I checked yesterday. It was like 106, 107,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's got a big YouTube channel.
He's selling the same socks as Wilson's Forest Land.
Selling what?
The same socks as Wilson's Forest Land on YouTube.
Yeah.
Camel socks.
Camel
Camel
City
socks.
is probably
Camel City.
no more than 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from where he actually lives. They're up in
Oh,
western
yeah.
Salem, North Carolina, about
Oh.
2 hours away from me. They are good. They are good socks. Kind of
Yep.
expensive, but they are good socks. Merino wool.
Yeah, and it should fit right into this. You know, it's running a sawmill, farm, you know, agriculture. We're
He's
all
He's
Yep.
used to fighting the government in more ways than you and I even do, because he's in part of the government structure as far as emergency management. But on the farming side of it, he sells retail meat. So he has to do with North Carolina USDA, federal USDA, and all the permitting requirements to be able to grow, kill, package, process, and sell retail food. And there's a lot that goes into that.
Yep.
And he has to deal with the on-site audits from the North Carolina inspectors. He had a thing a while back, some neighbor made a fraudulent complaint, and they popped up for a random inspection because some neo-Nazi didn't like the fact that he was killing chickens to sell chicken.
Yep.
Where do they think chicken fingers come from, people? They come from
They
live
come
chicken.
from the grocery. They come from the grocery store, dude. Nobody has to kill them. They're in the grocery store.
We eat millions of hamburgers every day, and people don't teach their little dumb kids that, hey, that moo cow,
Nope.
that's hamburger.
Nope. It comes
If
from the
you want to
grocery
name
store,
your
dude.
cow, name it hamburger.
All right, guys. Well, we got the farm coming on next month, third Saturday of next month at 8:00.
July,
Yeah, July.
8:00 a.m. or p.m.
Go ahead.
Eastern Standard Time. I mean, Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Central Time for John is 7 a.m. or 7 p.m.
Oh, look, Vic's Yard is just joining us. Well, Vic, you're about to miss the whole thing.
It's on the 18th, July 18th.
We
It's like-
recorded it. Just go back and watch it.
And I just like to clarify, Tim is not free and he's not going up for auction. It's $100,000, period. That's it. That's the price.
I feel like the 100 grand bar.
All right, everybody, we appreciate you coming along with us tonight. And make sure you go and check out that Facebook page of Scott
And give him support if you can, please.
and support him. And I guess we'll see everybody next month. Thanks for joining us. And until the next one, we will see you later.
Bye-bye now.
See you guys.
We want to thank everybody for stopping by the show tonight. And remember, it's the third Saturday of every month that we all gather and are on the show. See you later, guys.